computer. Okay, so Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So today we are going to do some of the topics. I call them random topics, okay? Because we have done fragments, okay, we have done 5 fragments. So before we jump into the next big topic, which is sentences, okay, we have some random topics, and this is a good time to deal with these random topics. So a few subtopics you can say, and these are the things that you need to know. These are important because when you are learning the Arabic of the Quran, these few things you need to know. And these will be all easy for you now because now you have the clear concept of fragments. Okay, so let's deal with those small subtopics today. Okay, before that, just a quick review for the fragments. Okay, so we have idafa, we have jar majrur, which is called harf of jar. We have harf nasab, and then we have mawsuf sifa and ismul ishara on musharun ilay. So these are the 5 fragments we have done, alhamdulillah. And this is just a quick snippet, 1-page overview. You can see, like we had a 1-page overview for all the properties of our ism. Remember, status, number, gender, and type. We have a page like that. So this is another page of fragments that we have done, the 5 fragments. You can see on the left-hand side, this is mudafa, before of, always light, no alif lam. Okay, mudafila is after of, always jar. If it is proper, then the mudaf is proper. If it is common, the mudaf is also common. Okay, we deal with that. There's a question like this in the exam, also true or false, right? Nothing comes between mudaf and mudaf ilay. Okay, 2 types of idafa, of construction or special mudaf. So we had special mudaf. The last thing is special mudaf. Special mudaf doesn't necessarily has of, right? Like those words, the bada, tahta, fawqa, qabla, amama. Okay, so all those 15 words, inda, they doesn't always come with of, like indallahi, with Allah, okay, or by Allah. Okay, so sometimes they don't have it, but that's why they are called special mudaf. Okay, then we talked about harf of jar, in sorry, wa, ba, ta, fi, min, ala, an, ila, hatta, all those harf of jar, and it makes it jar. Then inna, anna, kanna, laita, lakinna, la'alla is our harf of nasab. Okay, and then mawsuf sifa, all properties match, 4 properties match, and then they become mawsuf sifa. Okay, also ismul ishara, those 10 words, these are very important. Haza, hazihi, hazani, hatani, haulai, zalika, tilka, zanika, tanika, ulaika. Okay, and we say the singular and the plural one are non-flexible. Okay, all those words. The dual one, which is zanika, tanika, or hazani, hatani, those are not very common in the Quran. They are there, but not very common. So and they have a Rafa version and Nasab and Jar version, and you have the chart already just for your reference there. Okay, and Ismul Ishara and Musharan Ilai also has some rules. We learned about them. Sometimes Ismul Ishara words, they come between in a harf of jar, they can come in harf of nasab, they can come in idafa. We had examples. Also, we saw that in Ismul Ishara, sometimes we put the Ismul Ishara word at the end when we're trying to point to a mudaf, because we cannot have al in the mudaf, and to make point something to Ismul Ishara, we need to have a al in the next word. Okay, to solve this problem, we move the pointing word to the end of the word. So that was our last slide before the exam we did, right? So all these 5 fragments, and alhamdulillah, we did plenty of examples, and there are more and more and more examples in the Quran. The more you read Quran, the more you go through the pages, okay, and think about the pages, think about the ayah, you will find this every now and then, okay, every now and then. So, and alhamdulillah, most of you did very good in the exam. Okay, I compared the results with my previous batches. So with that, is not worse than that, obviously. It's similar, or sometimes better. For some of them you're better. Okay, so it is a good outcome, alhamdulillah. But I would say that some of the questions, I mean, you probably need a bit more review, especially in terms of vocabulary. The section 2, a lot of people got 7 or 8 out of 10, right? So those 2 or 3 words, it should be all full, because that is the easy section. So if you look at those, those small, like for example, I think there's one word, antunna. right? So it is very easy, right? It's pronoun, okay? So nobody should make mistake on that, okay? So those vocabularies and those words that we need to memorize, for example, harf of jar, harf of nasab, special mudaf, okay, ismul ishara, these are, we have to memorize them, okay? And we did it for any language, okay? So, so for Arabic, you have to memorize them because they're very common in the Quran. So, the more you read about them, so always keep in touch with those things, those sections. And I know that the new things are coming, like there'll be a lot of new things today. In the coming weeks, there'll be new things, but do not forget those things. That's why you have this 1-page review here. And, whenever you have 5 minutes, 10 minutes in a day, just go through them. Okay. I always, encourage brothers and sisters, even in my previous batches, I told them that, make a folder out of it. Okay. These 49 pages that I gave you. Okay. Just maybe go to Office Works or someone and printed them out and put it in a folder. Or if you have an iPad, keep it in a place in the iPad. So just scroll through them. Okay. It doesn't take too long. You don't have to go through all the pages because most of the things, like obviously, there are 3 kinds of words, u, a, e, heavy and light. You don't need to look at those now, okay? But few things where you think you're a bit weak, go through them, okay? Spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes, okay? The more you do this, inshallah, you will never forget them, okay? You'll never forget them, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, so this is our quick review after the exam. So the fragments. Now, the random topics that I'm going to talk about, there's a few topics today, okay? So the first topic is special ism. Okay, now, very careful. Listen to this. These are not very complicated. These already you know, but there are some exceptional things in this kind of subtopics. That's why we made them a little bit of special topic. Okay. Now there are 5 special isms that commonly appear as mudaf. So you know what is mudaf, right? So there will be a mudaf ilay after that. Okay. So they usually come mudaf. Okay. They are special because when they appear as mudaf, they do not show their status through ending sound. So when they come as mudaf, they could be either rafa, they could be either nasab, they could be either jar. For rafa, their sound should be u or un. Nasab should be an or a if it's light, and jar should be in or e. But these 5 isms, they don't appear like that when they come as a mudaf. They have a different sound, okay? And that's why they're special. Now, out of these 5, you need to worry about only 3. Abu, which means father, Ahu, which means brother, Hamun and Famun, they're not very common in the Quran. Okay, so you don't need to deal with that at the moment. And the last one is Zu. So Abu, Ahu, and Zu, these 3, you should know about them. Okay, and I have the slides for them. As you can see on the screen, the first one is Abu. Now in Abu, when it's singular, Rafa, Nasab, and Jar, is Abun or Aban or Abin. Okay. But when it's light, meaning it's mudaf, okay? If it is heavy, obviously it's not mudaf, right? If it is heavy, it's not mudaf. When it comes as a mudaf, look at this. Abu becomes Abu, and extra wa is there. Aban become Aba, the alif is already there, okay? And Abin become Abi, okay? So there's the extra yeah here. So look at this shaded column in light version. So that's why they're special, okay? And Abu is a very common word, it's father, okay? Most of the prophet's story is a story of father and son. Ibrahim, Ibrahim has 2 sons, right? Ismail and, Ishaq, Yusuf alayhi salam, the son of Isaac. Okay, so there's a lot of stories, especially prophet story, where you find the word Abu. Okay, because they're father of each other, or in any other story. Okay, so this Abu word, and look at this, when it's dual, it's Abuai, Abui. Okay, so this is a bit difficult to pronounce. Okay, dual is not that much of common again in the Quran, but the singular is there. When it's plural, look at this, how it's changing. Okay, and abaun and abau, okay, and abaan, and there's ain came up here, and abain and abai. Okay, so these words are not like common normal words. That's why we took them away and we made them a separate topic. Okay, now if you look at this here, this example at the bottom, it says my father is Muslim. Okay, abi. Now forget about the Muslim part, because the Muslim is Muslim, the word Muslim, but abi. So here abi, and there's a yeah here, my father, meaning father of mine. This is a mudaf and mudaf ilay. Okay, you know that ana, which is me, ana means I, is become e on ni. E for jar and ni for nasab. So abi means my father. Abi means my father. Abi Muslimun. My father is Muslim. Okay. Now, if you look at this, the example next to is Abi Muslimin. This is father of Muslim. Okay. So now look at the word Abi in both examples. They are exactly the same, but there is a difference. There is a difference. What is the difference? In the first case, when my father is Muslim, the first word Abi is Abu plus E is Abi. Okay, meaning my father. Okay, my father. Okay, but this one is father of a Muslim. Okay, Abi is here a mudaf. In the first example, Abi is a mudaf and a mudaf ilayh together, idafa. In the second example, the word Abi is mudaf, Muslimin is mudaf ilayh. Okay, that's why Muslimin is jar here and Muslimun is not jar here, it's rafa. Okay, it's rafa. So do you understand? But if you read them, you won't know the difference because they look exactly the same. Abi, the spelling is right here, alif and hamza, the fatha, ba with the kasra and a ya. Same here. So that's why I brought the example here to show you the difference. In one place, they are mudaf. In another place, they're mudaf and mudaf ilayh together, as if like my father. The word my father is a mudaf and mudaf ilayh. You understand that part, right? So father of mine, okay? But if I want to say father of a Muslim, so now the Muslim is a jar because it's the after of a Muslim. The word a Muslim is after of, which is jar. So that's my mudaf ilayh. And father is mudaf. So what I'm trying to show here, this is special because just by looking at it, you will find the difference. Okay, you can think here, oh, Abi, in the second example, I'm talking about the second example, the father of a Muslim. When you see Abi, you say, okay, Abi is a yeah attached here, and I learned yeah means Ana, so that's my father. But then why this word is jar? Muslimin is jar. This word cannot be jar by itself. It must have a reason for it to be a jar, right? Oh, in that case, this is not Abi. This is the light version of Abu, which is a mudaf, and Muslimin is jar. Okay, Muslimin is jar. So this is, it just looks the same, but actually they are not same. And only way to understand by looking at the next word. Okay, in this example, like my father is Muslim and father of a Muslim, the first word Abi in both cases is same. Second word Muslim is Muslimin in one case, Muslimun in one case. So here, if I ask you, like, imagine in the next exam, if I ask you Abi Muslimun, and I say this is a mudaf and mudaf ilay, where mudaf ilay is Muslimun, true or false? You should say false because Muslimun cannot be a mudaf ilay. To be a mudaf ilay, you have to be a jar. So it cannot be a mudaf ilay. It's something else. It's a rafa. It's a normal word. Okay. So it cannot be like this. Okay. Did you all understand this part? Any questions? Is it clear to everyone the why this is special? This Abu is special because the light version of Abu looks like it's an ism attached with Ana, as if it's like my father. So light version of Abu looks like it's my father, like, father of me. Okay, it looks like that when it goes to the spelling, because it's alif, ba, and ya. And again, when it comes as a mudaf, it's still the same. The only way to distinguish between them when you look at the next word. If the next word is jar, then it is a mudaf and it's mudaf ilayh. If next word is not jar, which is in the first example, this is rafa, okay, then it is my father. It is itself is a idafa. Okay, I hope everybody is clear on that, right? Any question, let me know. Okay, let's look at the same word, Ahu. Okay, so it's very similar word, Ahu and Abu. So Ahu becomes Ahui, Akhi and Akhi. Say Akhi, okay? And that's why, in Arab, even in now that people who go to masjid, they call, brother, my Akhi, come here, especially our brothers from the, Arab lands, okay? They always call Akhi, come here. So Akhi means my brother, okay, my brother, okay? So Akhi. Again, it could be my brother, or it could be the light version of Akhi as a mudaf, and something I can say Akhi Ibrahima. Akhi Ibrahima. So what will be the translation of Akhi Ibrahima? What will be the translation of Akhi Ibrahima? Anyone, please?
My brother.
Brother of Ibrahim.
Brother of Ibrahim. Why did I say Ibrahima? Why not Ibrahimi?
Yeah, that's Aki is working as a mudaf here.
And
That's why Ibrahima, like it's not
yeah,
jar.
it has to be jar.
Oh yes, because the name actually because
Partly
Ibrahim
flexible.
name, yeah.
Ibrahim is a partly flexible word.
Yes.
So you can't have Ibrahimi, partly
Yeah.
flexible. Okay. So Akhi Ibrahim. Okay. If I say Akhi Yusufa, Yusuf brother. Again, if I say Akhi, if I say Akhi Sulaimanu, Akhi Sulaimanu. So what is the translation of that? Any brother, please? My Akhi. Any of my Akhi, please? Akhi Sulaimanu. What will be the translation of that?
My brother is Sulaiman.
Yes, very good. Brother Farhad, yes. My brother is Sulaiman. Very good. Because I say Sulaimanu. Okay. And the other one, if I say Sulaimana, Sulaiman is also partly flexible. Then if I say Akhi Muhammadin, Akhi Muhammadin. So brother of Muhammad. Brother of Muhammad. Okay. If I say Akhi Muhammadun, then my brother Muhammad. Clear, everyone? Because, but if I write this, what I just said, the Akhi, the word Akhi looks same because nothing we can do. If we add a iya, it's the same. When it's light, it's the same. Okay, that's why the light column is graded out. That's why it's special one. Okay, so I hope you all understand that. Okay, and believe me, I will have question about this in the exam. So so next exam, inshallah. So please understand it properly. Okay, so when it is my brother is Sulaiman, or like as the sister said, the brother of Ibrahim. Okay, so just look at the next word and that will give you the clue, inshallah. Okay, now the third one, so Famun and Hamun, out of this 5 ism, we're not going to talk about that. Okay, Abu and Akhu is enough, alhamdulillah, okay, for this level, but we're going to talk about Zu. Zu is very important. Okay, Zu has no heavy version. Zu, the word Zu means Zal and Wa. Zu means the processor of, the holder of. Okay, possessor of, something. I possess a house. Okay, so Zul Bait. Okay, so Zu means the one whatever you're holding. Okay, so Zu has no heavy version. It only has light. In singular, in dual, and plural. So Zu, Za, Zi, Zao, Zawai, Zawai, and Zu, Zui, Zui. Okay, so this is plural, this is singular. Okay, you don't need to memorize this. Okay, it's not that I'm not wanting to memorize, but keep them as your reference. Okay, especially singular one is the main important one. For Abu, Akhu, and Zu, singular is your main thing to focus on. Okay, so Zu, Za, Zi, Rafana Savanjar. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about Zu. Before that, we just say whatever we just say. So ending sounds that make a word mudaf or uai, but in specialism the sounds are longer. We already saw it in the chart, right? Akhu is Akhu, Aha is like a bit longer. Okay. Similarly, Hamu is Hamu, Hamu, Hami, and Famu is like, but we said Hamu and Famu, we don't need to worry that much about that. Okay. Let's talk about some more facts about Zu. It means the possessor of, it always light, and it is always mudaf. So Zu, whenever you see in the Quran, Zu, and believe me, there's a lot of time in the Quran is Zu. Okay. Zu is always light, always mudaf. So there should be a mudaf ilay, okay? But it is not a special mudaf. It is not a special mudaf, okay? Zu is always light, okay? It's always mudaf, okay? It has a meaning, possessor of, but it's not a special mudaf. It has some other things, okay? Now, examples from the Quran. Zawai adlin. Zawai adlin. Okay, this is one of the example actually where Zawai is as a dual, okay? So Zawai mudaf light no alif lam. This is light version of Zu. Okay, Adlin is mudaf ilay majrur. So simple as that. Okay, so Zawai Adlin. Okay, Adlin means the one who has justice. Okay, the one who has justice. Okay, so the possessor of just or justice. Okay, so someone is doing a reconciliation. Okay, so he has justice. A person with fairness. You can say fairness. Okay. In fact, this fragment is from the Quran. It's from Surah Talaq. Surah Talaq. Okay. If you read Surah Talaq, I think this is in ayah number 4. Okay. I think it's ayah number 4. So if you read the ayah in translation, you will find that Allah is saying that when there is a problem going on in the family, you should find 2 person, okay, from both sides, zawai adlim minkum, okay, among you, okay, so that they can come and reconcile between you, and that's the first step, so when your husband and a wife has disputes and everything. So this is one of the word. Also, zu is used in a famous way, Zulkarnain. The word Zulkarnain, you all know the Zulkarnain, the story of Zulkarnain in Surah Al-Kahf, okay? So that is the Zu. We think Zulkarnain is the whole name, but actually it's not the whole name. Zulkarnain, okay? Al-Karnain means horn, okay? And the word Al-Karnaini, okay, let's see, I'm gonna ask it to, let's see, who should I ask? Brother Mahbub, you are the lucky one. Can you tell me the Al-Karnaini, this word, is it singular, dual, or plural? Just the word Al-Karnaini. Look at the word and tell me, is it singular, dual, or plural?
It's plural from the meaning I can understand.
Why did you say plural?
2 horns, right?
So 2 means plural in Arabic?
Oh, sorry, dual. Sorry, yeah.
Yes, yes.
My wrong.
Please, yeah. Give me a heart attack, brother. Okay, so don't say that. Okay, so Al-Qarnaini, okay, and Aini, una, Ani and Aini. Okay, just Muslimani, Muslimaini, just like Al-Qarnaini. Okay, so Zil Qarnaini. So this Zu becomes Z because of An. Okay, so An is a harf of jar. Zu becomes Z. Okay, because of An, and Al-Qarnaini is a mudaf ilayh here. Okay, so about the possessor of 2 horns. Okay, why Zulkarnain is called 2 horn? There's a lot of stories. Okay, because he had probably a helmet, or like a throne that has 2 horns. So that's why they call Zulkarnain. So this is not his real name. This is his title. Okay, Zulkarnain. Okay. So that's one way to say that. Okay. Also, we can say Qulna ya. Yes.
Excuse me, brother. Just can you explain how Zu became Z again, please?
Because of An. Remember, Zu is a ism. Okay, we are talking about special ism. An is a harf of jar. So An make the Zu as Z. Remember in the last slide, see, Zu has Rafa Nasab and jar version, right? See this word here is G and the Z at the bottom singular. The last column Z is jar. So because it became jar here. Okay, because An means about, An is a harf of jar. Remember this 11 harf of jar we memorized? So this is one of them. That's why it's An Zil Karnain. And this is also, if you read the last few ayahs of Surah Al-Kahf, you'll find these ones. Okay. Also, Kulna ya Zal Karnaini. Why did it become Za here? Who can tell me? Why did it become Nasab? So the first example is a jar. Second example is a Nasab. Why is Nasab?
Because of Ya.
Why? What does Ya do?
Ya is a harf nida. So give nasab the following word.
Yes. Still not 100% clear. Almost close. Okay. You got 80%. Explain why. So Ya is a harf of nida that makes the next word jar. Is it always true? I mean, I need a bit more example.
Next word nasab, and Zal Karnain is mudaf ilayh.
So why is
So
nasab?
that's why.
Almost there. You should say this way. Ya is a harf of nida. Anything after harf of nida should be rafa, unless if it is a mudaf, right? If I call someone ya waladu or ya karimu, okay, so that's fine. If they should be rafa. But we learn, yes, harf of nida makes the next word nasab if the next word is a mudaf. So Zal Karnaini here, the word zu is a mudaf of Al Karnaini, just like the previous one. That's why Ya Zal Karnaini. Yeah, that's why, like in a lot of hadith literature, when Prophet Sallallahu is talking to Abu Bakr, right? He say Ya Abu Bakr. Okay, Ya Abu Bakr. So, but we know his name is Abu Bakr, right? Why he say Abu Bakr? Because he used the word Ya. Okay, Ya Abu Bakr. Okay, Ya Abdullah. Okay, Abd of Allah. Okay, so that's those were, that's because of ya, this become nasab. Why nasab? Because this is not a normal word, it's a mudaf. It's a mudaf of al-Qarnaini, and mudaf ilay. So that's why ya zal-Qarnaini. Okay, and then the last one, Zul Arshil Majid. Zul Arshil Majid. Here, Zu is Rafa. Okay, but still it is a mudaf here, because Zu always comes as mudaf. Zul Arshil Majid means the possessor of Arsh Majid. So what are the fragments here in Zul Arshil Majid? Brother Mine, can you tell me? Brother Mine, unmute yourself. Tell me in Zul Arshil Majid. So we said one is Idafa, Zul and Arshil Majid. Is there any other fragment here in these three words, Zul Arshil Majid? Other than Idafa, so Zul and Arshi is Mudaf and Mudafi. Is there any other?
Arshil Majid is Mudaf and Mudaf ilahi.
How? Arshil Majid cannot be Mudaf Mudafile because Arsh, Al Arsh has Al. If you have Al, you can be Mudaf. What else it can be? Any sister, Zaina, can you answer please?
I would have said Sifat, but that wouldn't be.
That wouldn't be?
I don't think so.
Why not?
Because the ending is different.
Ending is different, yes, yeah. But yeah, you're right. But actually, this is Al Arshil Majidu. You're right. It should be Mausuf Sifa, but it is not because of the U sound. Okay, so basically there is no fragment. Okay, so Zul Arshi is and Al Majidu is actually, we're gonna learn this. This is just normal word. Okay, so Zul Arshi, you're good, very good. Yeah, it could have been Mausuf Sifa, but it is not Mausuf Sifa here. So here we can see that the word Zu that we special ism, it could be a jar, okay, it could be a nasab, it could be a rafa, okay, and but whenever it comes, it's always light. There's no heavy version, and it is always mudaf. So the next word will be a mudaf ilay. Okay, it is mudaf ilay. So this is also a special ism, just like Abu and Akhu, but this has different quality than Abu and Akhu. Okay, Abu Akhu has a different thing, but Zu is also called as one of the 5 special ism because of that. Okay, and because there's a lot of time. It's not only Zul Qarnain is the only time in the Quran, as you can Zul Arshil Majid. There's other places also. This is in Surah Talaq, in Surah Taqweer. There's also Zul. Okay, so Zu and Z, a lot of time used in the Quran. So just remember this little word Zu means the possessor of. Okay, and Jil Jalali wal Ikram. Okay, Zul Jalali wal Ikram. One of the name of Allah, so Zul Jalali wal Ikram. Okay, Zul Jalali. So the possessor of the Jalal, meaning the great might and Ikram and honor. Okay, that is also a name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So same thing. That is a mudaf and mudaf. Zul Jalali wal Ikram. Okay. So I think that's about the mudaf special mudaf. Last thing here. There are another word for Zu in plural form. They are ulu. So what here means, there's another word that also means possessor of. Okay, and that's also used in some places in the Quran. Okay, so it's a common word. You can say a synonym of Zu, but it's in plural form. Okay, they are ulu, uli, and uli. Okay, so ulu is also means possessor of, and that's why Allah says ulul albab. Ulul albab, the possessor of sound intellect. Okay, albab means a sound intellect, meaning people who have thinking power, people who are intellectual, you can say in a word. So ulu is another word. It always comes in a plural form. Okay, like Zu. Okay, like Zu. But they're the same kind of synonym. This also means the possessor of. Okay, so ulul albab. So that's just to show you here. In Rafa version is ulu. In Rafa and Nasab and Jar is uli and uli. Nasab and Jar is uli and uli. Okay. Points to be noting. Okay, so this is another subtopic now. So let's go back here. So we talked about 5 isms. Okay, and we said out of 5 isms, we're going to talk about 3 of them. So we talked about Abu and Akhu, which is very similar. The only problem with them, when they come as a mudaf, it looks the same, when they come as a mudaf and mudafile, as if like my father or my brother. Okay, so we solved that problem, right? And then we talked about the third special ism, which is zu, which is very common in the Quran. And we learned that zu is always light, is always mudaf, and zu changes its form depending on how it is used. If it is after a harf of jar, it is there. If it is harf of nasab, it will be nasab za. If it is not jar or nasab, then it's normal it is rafa. And we also learned that zu has another synonym in plural form, which is ulu, and we say ulu also means the possessor of. So far, this is what we learned. The next topic, when adding a attached pronoun to ana to a mudaf, okay, what does it mean basically? Attached pronoun ana, okay, the same problem actually we had with abu and ahu is ya. When we add ya to a mudaf, the last haraka of the letter is dissolved and it sounds like ya, okay, and the word looks same in rafa, nasab and jar status. The word becomes non-flexible. Therefore, check for clues to confirm the status. What does it mean? I'll give you an example and you'll understand. Look at this. Ism with attached pronoun ya. So there's a word called kitab. Kitab's rafa version is kitabu, jar version is kitaba, and sorry, nasab version is kitaba, and jar is kitabi. Bu, ba, bi. Everybody clear on that, right? We already learned this. This is our lesson 1, right? U sound is rafa, a sound is nasab, e sound is jar. Now, this word kitabu is rafa, by default is rafa. Kitaba maybe is inna kitaba. There's some reason that it became nasab. Okay, we don't know that, okay? But it could be nasab, right? Maybe there's something before the jar version, it becomes jar. With each of them, if you add an ya, okay, if you want to add a ya means ana. You want to make it a mudaf and mudafile, right? Then if you add ya with kitabu, it become kitabi. If you add ya with kitaba, it become kitabi. If you add ya with kitabi, it become kitabi. So the problem here, why we talking about this? Because as soon as you add a ya with the kitabu or kitaba or kitabi, before adding, we know that it was rafa, it was nasab, it was jar. But when you look at the result after the equal sign, it all looks the same. So when you have kitabi, and if I ask you, what is the status of kitab here? Meaning what is the status of mudaf here? Okay, iya is our mudafile, it comes from ana. But I want to know the status of kitab. Was it a rafa before adding it? Was it a nasab before adding it? Or was it a jar before adding it? You cannot tell because they all look the same. It all looks the same, okay? And that is the problem only with the iya, with the ana version, okay? Above, we can see kitabi looks same in rafa, nasab and jar version. So as if this word become a non-flexible, okay? But we can only know by looking at the clue before kitab. Is there anything before the word kitab that could make it nasab or that could make it jar? So that's why it's saying, therefore, check for clues to confirm the status, okay? The reason we are talking about this, because if you don't know this, then you will see, so how do I know that this word here is a rafa, nasab or jar? Why does it look the same? Okay, because when you add an iya, the last haraka dissolves. That's a reading rule, you can say. The last haraka dissolves. You can't say kitabuya. You can say kitabaya. You can say kitabiya. You should say kitabi, kitabi, kitabi. Okay, all looks like the same. Okay, it doesn't happen for other pronouns, other attached pronoun, but with the other pronouns we can keep it different, and that is we can clearly see the changes in status. Look at this: kitabuka, kitabaka, kitabika. By looking at kitabuka, you can easily say, oh, it was kitabu, which is rafa, plus we add anta, ka. Oh, it was kitaba, nasab, and then we add anta. Oh, it was jar, and we add anta. So, the haraka on ba, u, a, and e did not change when we add ka, anta. Even if we add hu, which is his book, right? So, kitabi is my book, kitabuka is your book, kitabuhu is his book. Even who is no problem. Kitabuhu, kitabahu, kitabihi. Okay, it's all the same. Okay, so you can easily, by looking at the last letter ba, you can tell the status. Oh, bu is rafa, ba is nasab, and b is jar. Okay, but when you add ana, that's when the problem comes. That's when the problem comes. You cannot say until you see other clues. Okay, so this is just an information to let you know. It's nothing to learn here, but to make you more careful when you read an ayah, when you try to understand an ayah, when you see this kind of thing, kitabi, what is the status? The status can only be found not looking at the last haraka on the ba, because ba is always as b, 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 b in all three cases. Okay, all three cases looks like jar, but it may not be jar. It could be nasab, it could be rafa. Okay, so you have to see clue. For other pronoun, it is fine. Like, we can see the example kitabuka, kitabuka, kitabaka and kitabikya, kitabuhu, kitabaha, kitabihi. Okay, it's easy to understand. Okay, you can easily see them in the spelling, but the other one you cannot see when it ana like stuff. Okay, so that was another subtopic. Okay, is it clear, everyone, why we talked about this? So it is basically, the topic is about the attached pronoun ana with any ism. Okay, most of the time it doesn't give you a clue what was the status of the word or ism before adding it to the ana. Okay, other pronouns are fine, but this one has a problem, so you have to find some other clues to determine the status. Clear? Okay, perfect. Next subtopic. Okay, these are all like one small topics. Okay, that's why I'm gathering them together. Okay, now this word on the screen, kullu, kullan, and kullin, is heavy version. Do you remember where did you learn about this? Have you seen this word in our lessons before anywhere? Anybody remember?
Special mudaf.
The special mudaf, very good. And what did we say? They were special mudaf, but they were special in there as well. Remember, special mudaf have two charts, right? We had a bigger chart, which is 15 words, and then we have a chart for 5 words. Okay, do you remember why those 5 words was separated? Anybody remember?
It's for heavy and light.
Yes. So when they are light, they are special mudaf. When they're heavy, they're normal word. When they're heavy, they're normal. Other mudaf, other special mudaf, where just most of the time they're light. Okay, but these 5 that we talked about before. Okay, now out of the 5, we picked one, kullu. Okay, why? Because kullu has a profound use in the Quran. Okay, you find a lot of time Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala use the word kullu. Okay, and kullu has a little bit of different meaning how it used in the ayah. Okay, so that's why we need to learn a little bit more about kullu. Okay, so kullu basically means everything. Okay, or all, all. Okay, everything. Okay, but it has some different implication when it used in a different way. Okay, let's look at them, inshallah. Okay, now when kullu is used as a mudaf and mudaf ilay. Okay, so if the mudaf ilay, what is mudaf ilay? That whatever comes after kullu. Okay, whatever comes after kullu is mudaf ilay, because kullu is a special mudaf. Okay, if it is singular and common, then it means each and every. Each and every. If it is singular and proper, then it means whole or the entire. Okay, if it is plural and proper, then it means all of. Okay, in general, if you look at each and every, whole and all of, it almost look the same. Okay, it almost look the same, but there is some subtle difference. Okay, so when you go into the higher level, there is some studies called balaga. Balaga means that is kind of the inner meaning of the Quran. Okay, sometimes a ayah is different from another ayah in very subtle way, meaning very minuscule way. Okay, and in that there are a lot of meanings are there. Okay, so balaga is something that it's not in this level. Once you finish this one, you have next level, and the you can say the advanced level is balaga. But this type of things is important in there. There's a little difference when the mudaf ilay has different form. Let's look at an example and it will be clear. When I say kullu masjidin, so the word masjidin is mudaf ilay here. That's why it's jar. But is it singular and is it common? Yes, it is singular. Okay, and it is common. Okay, how do you know singular? Masjid is singular. We know that. Okay, masajid is the broken plural, which is plural. Okay, so kullu masjidin means each and every masjid. Each and every masjid. But if I say kullul masjidin, okay, So which is, okay, it should be masjidi. It's a special mistake. Sorry, it should be masjidi, not masjidin. Okay. So singular and proper, singular and proper. So there's a mistake here. And the second one, it shouldn't be din because al and tanwin cannot be stayed together. Okay. So kullul masjidi, there's a al makes it proper. So the first one didn't have al. This one has al. Okay. If that means the whole masjid, the whole masjid. So there is actually difference. So if I say kullul masjidi, fi Sydney, so it means that each and every masjid of the Sydney. But if I say kullul masjidi, that means the whole masjid. So here in the second one, what I'm trying to say, I'm talking about one masjid. Okay. So if I say like, we want to paint the whole masjid. Okay. So the masjid has 3-4 section, sisters area, brothers area, Udu place. Okay. I'm saying to the painter, brother, I want the paint to be done in the whole of the masjid. Okay. In that case, I have to use kullul masjidi. I have to use a kullu. Okay. And I have to make it proper and singular. If I say, brother, I want to get donation from each and every masjid in our suburb, okay, in our 10-kilometer area. In that case, I should use kullu masjidin, no alif lam. So it should be singular and common. The third one, kullul masajid. Okay, kullul masajidi. Again, there's a spelling mistake. Sorry, I think there's a typing thing here. It shouldn't be din because al cannot have tanween. Okay, so here is all of the masjid. So all of the masjids and each and every masjid is almost the same thing. Each and every masjid, all. But again, there's a little bit of difference. Each and every means literally every. All of in Arabic, when you say all of, okay, it means majority. It's mean majority. It doesn't mean each and every of them. Okay, you need to understand this. We heard a lot of hadiths from Rasulullah Sallallahu about when he said, 70 times, okay, or 100 times a day. Okay, so those numbers are not literal numbers in Arabic. Okay, there's a hadith called, there are 70 levels of iman. Okay, so here 70 means many levels. It could also mean many levels. It could be literally 70, or it could means that many. Okay, just like in our language, if a guy is eating sweets, right? Say, hey, you love sweets. How many sweets you have? Say, I have 100 of them. Okay, it doesn't mean literally I have 100 of them. It means that I had a lot of sweets. Okay, I have a lot of sweets. Okay, so that's like that in Arabic also. When the word kullu is used with alif lam and plural, so plural and proper, it means majority, not necessarily means each and every. Clear, everyone? Is it clear? So the difference between three. Okay, so same word kullu, the way mudafila is used, depending on that, the meaning is changing. Okay, so if the mudafila is singular and common, okay, then it is each and every. If it is singular and proper, then it's the whole thing. Okay, if it is plural and proper, that means all of it, but all of it not necessarily mean all of it. It could mean all of it, or it could mean majority. It could mean majority. Okay, whenever we have talk about Jannah and Jahannam, in Quran it says in Hadith actually it says that we're gonna get 70 hurul ain. Okay, so 70 doesn't mean 70. It could be more. So you can be happy, inshallah. So 70 doesn't literally mean 70. It could be more. Okay, it could be more. Okay, so that's like that. Whenever you see word kullu in the Quran, okay, and it is followed by the mudafilai that has al and proper and plural and proper, that means majority, or it could mean all. It could also mean all. Okay, so it has two emphases. But if it is kullu and singular and common, the first example, that is mean each and every. So Allah is trying to say each and every. Okay. For example, there's a famous ayah repeated many times in the Quran. Kullu nafsin zaikatil maut. Kullu nafsin. Kullu nafsin. Okay, now nafsin is common and singular. Nafsin is common and singular. So there it means each and every. It's not majority. Meaning Allah is saying every nafs, every living things will test the death. So okay, kullu nafsin. Everybody understand? This is the example. Okay, kullu nafsin. Does anyone know what is the plural of nafs? What is the plural of nafs? Anybody knows?
Is it nufus?
Hmm?
Is it nufus?
No. Anfus. Okay, close.
Anfus, right?
Anfus, okay. Anfusahum, okay. So anfusahum are like they are nafs, okay. So yeah, but when Allah used the kullu nafsin zaikatil maut, okay. So that is why Allah is saying each and every, okay. If it Allah use kullul, anfus, okay, that would be all of the souls, okay, and that not necessarily means each and every of them, okay. So that's why in Arabic, all when kullu is used like as a all, it's not necessarily means all of them, okay. If you want to make the meaning each and every, then you use singular and common, okay. So that was the subtopic about the kullu, and there is some example I think here. Kullu abidin, each and every worshipper. It's the same example like here, okay. All of the worshippers and the entire worshippers, okay. So there are some examples like this. So this is another subtopic, okay. I have another subtopic today, but we have only 10 minutes. I will start the topic, inshallah, and then we can finish it next week, okay. So today, so far, we learned about 3 things, okay. We learned about 5 isms. In the 5 specialism, we talked about 3. We said 2 we're not going to talk about. We talked about Abu, Aku, and Zu. In the 7th subtopic, we talked about the pronoun, attached pronoun E, how it dissolves the haraka on the last letter of mudaf, and it looks same, okay, like kitabi, kitabi, and kitabi, okay. But for other pronouns, it's fine. And then the 3rd thing we talked about kullu, that had different uses of kullu, and it has different meaning depending on the mudaf ilayh. Depending on the mudaf ilayh, if the mudaf ilayh is singular, common, singular proper, or plural proper, okay. So we talked about 3 topics. The 4th one that I'm going to talk about today, this is a bit of a larger topic, so I think I won't be able to finish by 10 minutes, but I'll go through it, and then inshallah, if we have question, we'll come back next week, okay. These are called comparative isms. Comparative isms, okay. The comparative isms are partly flexible, and they are used for both masculine and feminine, okay. Comparative ism means when you compare between 2 things, okay. Like akbaru can be used for masculine. Akbaru means greater, okay, or bigger, okay. When you learn in English, good, better, best, right? So good is singular, kind of like, one person. Better is comparing 2 things, okay. This car is better than that car, okay, and this is the best. That's the superlative, okay. It's called superlative, okay. So this is basically, this topic is about comparative and superlatives, okay. So comparative isms are usually they are partly flexible. Partly flexible means what? They cannot take kasra, okay. So you can't have a word called akbari. You can have akbaru and akbara, okay. So these are partly flexible comparative isms, and they are used for both masculine and feminine. So they are the same word for masculine. So that's why huwa akbaru is he is bigger. Hiya akbaru, she is bigger. Okay. So the word akbaru and akbaru did not change because of the gender. Okay, because this is a comparative word. Okay. Whereas when the isms are superlative, when the superlative masculine and feminine forms are different. So the word bigger is akbar. Okay, akbar is bigger. Okay, that's why when you say Allahu Akbar, okay, in essence we mean Allah is the biggest or Allah is the greatest, right? But actually it's a comparative word. When you say Allahu Akbar, meaning Allah is better or Allah is bigger or Allah is greater than anything else. Okay, that's what it means basically. Okay, but yeah, in essence, mean Allah is the greatest. Okay, obviously, right? But grammatically, it means, that's why when you start the salah, you say Allahu Akbar. So you're telling that nothing is greater, anything is greater than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why Allahu Akbar. Okay. So, and that word Akbar, because it's a comparative word, for masculine and feminine is the same. When it comes to superlative, okay, masculine and feminine is different. Superlative isms are made by adding a al to the comparative isms or making it a mudaf. Very, very important. Try to understand, okay? Superlative isms, how are they made? They are made in 2 ways. Either you add an al with the comparative ism or make that word as a mudaf, meaning they should have a mudaf ilayh, okay? For example, al-akbaru is the masculine and it is in the superlative form. So if I say al-akbaru, that means the greatest or the biggest or greatest, okay? Al-akbaru. So if I want to say he is the biggest, okay, I should say huwal akbaru, huwal akbaru. But we can't say hiyal akbaru. It is wrong. Why? Because now it's this the al akbaru, because we added al, we made it a superlative. The masculine version should be different than feminine version. Okay, so the feminine al akbaru will be al kubra, al kubra. Okay, so it changes. Okay, and it becomes it whole spelling changes and it says alif maksura. So therefore, hiyal kubra, hiyal kubra. Okay, so huwal akbaru, he is biggest. Hiyal kubra is she is biggest. Okay, she is the biggest. Everybody understand so far so good? So comparative words, okay, they're usually partly flexible. Okay, usually, and their masculine and feminine is the same. Okay, but to make them superlative, we can do it in two ways, and we're going to see both ways. So we saw the example by adding an al, or we can make it mudaf. The mudaf one we'll see in the next slides, inshallah. Okay, so this when you add an al, it's become the superlative, and in superlative, masculine and feminine has different form. You know, al akbaru and al kubra. Now, I'm going to show you a bunch of comparative words from the Quran. Okay, you need to. It's better to memorize them. Okay, or at least you have an idea that these are the words from the comparative words. Okay, you don't need to memorize like you memorize harf of jar, but these are some of the commonly comparative word using in the Quran, and they have a same kind of pattern. Okay, let's look at them. So akbar, ahsan, asgar, azam, okay, adna, a'la, okay, asfal. Okay, so these are all comparative words. And when you make them superlative, they have a different masculine and feminine version. So al-qabr, al-akbaru means the bigger, you can say. Al-husna, al-hasna or al-ahsanu means nicer, beautiful. Hasan means beautiful. Okay, Hasan, so ahsan means more beautiful, or you can say nicer and the nicest. Okay, when you say she is the nicest, you can say husna. Okay, husna is ahsan. So that's a lot of brothers' names ahsan. We have a university, Ahsanullah University, right? So ahsan means the al ahsan means the nicest. Okay, the beautiful, the most beautiful. Okay, you can say that. Okay, and husna, there's a lot of girls' name is husna. It's the feminine word husna, right? Husna means that in the feminine way, the superlative form of that. Okay, asgar means small. Asgar means small, so smaller and the smallest. Okay, azam means great. Okay, like my full name is Muhammad Azam. Okay, so Azam, that means great. So greater, and then greatest and the greatest. Okay, and uzma means the feminine form of it. Okay, adna means lower. Adna means lower. Okay, so adna and dunya. The word dunya is feminine. See here on the right hand side, the ad dunya. So dunya is the lowest. We think dunya means world, right? Actually, dunya, the word dunya doesn't mean world. Okay, dunya is lowest. Why is lowest? Because akhirah is closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is the greatest, because over there you will have the everything forever. Okay, your Jannah will be forever, inshallah, in akhirah, right? Dunya is full of things that disliked by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, here there are good people and bad people. People get influenced by shayateen, they do bad things in the dunya. So dunya is a lower heaven, okay, in a lower part. Okay, and akhirah is the higher part. Okay, so the word dunya basically means, whenever Allah uses the dunya, okay, of course it has a meaning of the world. Okay, it has a name of the world, but it basically means something that is lower, inferior is the right word to say. Okay, so adna is the comparative inferior, and in the masculine form is al adna, or ad dunya is the feminine way. Ad dunya is feminine. Okay, that's why remember the example we did, hayat ad dunya, or so many times you read in the Quran like hayat ad dunya, meaning the haya, the life of the dunya. Okay, and hayat ad dunya is mawsuf sifa. Okay, hayat is feminine, and ad dunya is also feminine, because ad dunya is a feminine word. Okay, here because of the superlative. Okay, ad dunya. Ala means higher. Someone is in the high place, so higher and the highest and highest. Okay, Asfal means also, asfal also means, you can say, what is the, it's very similar to lower actually, okay, or bottom, the bottom place, okay, asfal, okay. Like Allah said, innal munafiqina fi darkil asfal, okay, fi darkil, the munafiq, the hypocrites will be in the lowest pit of the heaven, no lowest pit of the hell, okay. So asfal means something very low, okay. So it is something lower, okay, something like that, something very negligent kind of thing, okay. There are some words they used as, they're called disability words, okay. Like if someone is mute, or someone has a one less, someone has disability, physical disability, this kind of word also follow the same pattern. If you look at all the comparative words, their structure is same. The second word has a sukun, right? Akbar, ahsan, askar, azam, adna, ala, asfal, okay. So the same pattern, okay. These are from the sarf thing, but you're going to learn them later, inshallah, in the next course, inshallah. But the same pattern follows also by some words used in the Quran for disability. Like if some person is a mute, or one who lost a limb, like they doesn't have a hand or a leg or something. So these words also follow the same pattern, but they don't have superlative. They don't have superlative, okay, just to let you know, okay. So this is comparative and superlative. Now, the last thing I want to show, and with this we're going to finish, inshallah, that we said that comparative words can be made superlative by adding an al, which we saw in this chart in the screen, right? It can be made in superlative by adding an al. But there's another way to make a comparative word to superlative, meaning when they're used as mudaf, when they're used as mudaf, okay. And there are many examples in the Quran like that, where a comparative word like akbar or ahsan or askar or asfal, they're used not with an al, but there's a mudaf ilay after that. So they were used as a mudaf, okay. Whenever they used as a mudaf, although they are a comparative word, at that time you must translate it as superlative, okay, because we know a comparative word becomes superlative by adding an al or by making it a mudaf. Now, there are few examples from Surah Teen, which is a very common surah. I believe all of you memorize Surah Teen, Wattini Wazzaitun Waturi Sinin Wahazal Baladil Amin. So this surah has few examples of comparative words used as superlative as a mudaf, Okay, let's look at those, and inshallah with that we'll finish today's class, inshallah. So when the superlatives are mudaf, they don't have al, obviously, and they become fully flexible. Obviously, when it's mudaf, it cannot have al, right? We already know that mudaf cannot have al, okay? And at that time, the word became fully flexible. Okay, the same word akbar become fully flexible. Akbaru, akbar, and akbari. Okay, examples from the Quran, superlative. فَإِذَا جَاءَتِ الطَّامَّةُ الْكُبْرَى. Okay, okay, at-tammatul kubra here, at-tammatu is feminine, okay, feminine. Al-akbaru is feminine and superlative here, okay, adjective. But here it is superlative with the adding with an al, okay. Next one, falahul falahul asmaul husna. Falahul asmaul husna. Here also this is added by al. So you can see al kubra and al husna. These are example of superlative by adding an al. This one superlative as mudaf from Suratin. Summa radadna asfala safilina. Now, if you look at the word asfala, we just had the asfala word in the chart, or in the chart. So asfala means something that is lowest. Okay, asfala safilina. The word asfala is light, no alif lam, and safilina is in jar form. Okay, safilina is ina, safilina. Muslimina, the ina. So asfala is a mudaf. So, but we will reduce them to the lowest of the low. So asfala safilin. So the word asfala is here. Although there is no al here, but it is superlative. It is superlative because it is added as a mudaf, and the mudaf is safilin. Laqad khalaqnal insana fi ahsani taqwin. The word ahsan doesn't have a al here. It is a comparative word, but here it is superlative in meaning because ahsan is here a mudaf with the taqwimin. So if you look at the last word taqwimin, that is jar. Okay, and ahsan is mudaf, and that's mudaf ilay. Okay, alaysallahu bi ahkamil hakimin. So ahkamil hakimin, ahkam. Ahkam mean, hakam becomes ahkam, right? So ahkam means the best ruler, okay, the best judge, okay. So ahkam al hakimin. So again, there's no al here, okay. There's a b here, and this b is a different b. We'll talk about that. So it's not the other b, and then here ahkam and become a superlative because it's a mudaf. So all three examples are from Surah 10, but there are other examples in other places because I picked this one because this is a very common surah. Every day we probably recite in our salah. So, and it's only short surah. So you know that in the same surah, almost 3 examples of superlative using a comparative word. By why they are superlative? Because they are used as a mudaf. The next word is a mudaf ilayh. Yes, brother. Any question? Okay. Okay. There's another subtopic. We'll talk about it next week, inshallah. There's another subtopic where we're going to talk about next week, inshallah. So with this, I will finish today's session. So there was some random thing, just a quick review. So first thing we did, the 5 isms, okay, special isms, and we took 3 of them. We talked about them, Abu, Aku, and Zu. Second thing we saw, when you add a pronoun, especially the ana pronoun, the last haraka get dissolved. So there's a tricky situation and we need to know with the other clue. The third thing we talked about the use of the comparative and the superlative, okay? And also third thing we talked about the kullu. So the kullu is used, how it's used depending on the mudaf. 3 types of use of that, like singular, common, singular proper, and plural proper, right? And the fourth thing we talked about the comparative and superlative word. We had a chart of some of the comparative words from the Quran and how they become superlative, either by adding an al or if they become a mudaf. Okay, there's another subtopic, inshallah. We'll handle it next week, and then we'll finish this random topics, and then we go to our sentence structure, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, this is necessary before sentence structure because you will see these things in the coming lessons. So that's why it is important that we know it now. So with this, inshallah ta'ala, I'll finish it. Jazakallah khairan. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. I'll stop the recording. If you have any question, you can ask now, inshallah.